This video tutorial is brought to you by Raffles Hall Arts and Graphics. Today, we'll be learning how to make a simple poster using the most basic tools in Adobe Illustrator. Let's get started. So, for now, the idea of the poster is that it's going to be an IHG poster to get our residents to support more matches, watch more matches, and support our sportsmen and sportswomen. So the theme of it this time is going to be like what you see here. It's going to mimic what you'd see in an iPhone SMS conversation. And this site is our inspiration. It's called damnyouautocorrect.com. It's some really funny situations where the autocorrect function in the iPhone causes misunderstandings, which end up to be quite hilarious. So right now I've already created our text that we're going to use for our own version of this Damn You Autocorrect replica. So here it is. Okay, when we open Adobe Illustrator, first we'll create a new document, and this is what you want to look at, the new document profile. We want to change it to print because we're making a poster out of it, and it'll be A4 size. Yep. You can make sure the orientation is a portrait, and we'll click OK after we change the name to my first poster. Alright. I'm going to be using Adobe Illustrator CS5, but this will work on pretty much any version, since I'll be using only the simplest of tools. Okay, the first thing we have to see is to look at the background. So the background here, we're just going to make a simple simulation replica of this, not an exact one, because that would be a bit complicated. So the backgrounds would be this light blue here, this darker blue, and this whitish gray area down here. Okay, so let's start with the biggest area, which is the light blue here. Okay, now I'll be clicking on this tool. This is the rectangle tool. If you don't see it, you can click on this icon and then hold down on it and select the rectangle tool, like so. And then now we want to make sure that your smart guides are turned on, because that will allow you to lock the cursor onto the corner of the page where you'll see these green lines and these green words. And from here we'll just click and drag out this rectangle to the other corner of the page and release. Right now you don't see anything that has appeared, but actually we have created this rectangle shape, which is also called a path. This path has two basic elements. One of them is the stroke, which is this thing over here on the left side, and the fill, which is this white area over here. Right now the fill is white color, which is the same color as the background we had earlier, which is why you can't really see the rectangle. So once we change the fill to, let's say, a red color, we will be able to see this rectangle. Yep. Alright, so we want to change it to a light blue color. We can look to the right at our swatches panel. These are basically pre-saved colors, and look for something similar to it. And maybe this could be something similar to it, but you realize that it's actually pretty far from it, because the color we're looking for is much lighter and brighter. Okay, so the mode. Okay, so we'll look up in this color panel. If you don't see the color panel, you click on window up here and then go to color and it will appear. So I want you to click on this this little button on the top right, and it will open up this menu where you click on HSB. This changes the mode of color selection, and we'll be able to edit our color to make it more like what we want. Yes. So first thing we're going to do is reduce this S slider to the left, and you see it's already becoming less saturated. It means there's less of the actual color in it. And actually right now it's actually already pretty similar, and that's good enough for our purposes. So we'll click away from our rectangle, and that will deselect the rectangle. So this is what we have so far. If you have managed to do this, there's a good job to you. Okay, the next step we're going to be creating is the top background and the bottom background. So the top background is going to be a darker blue, and the bottom is going to be a gray. So in the same way, we're just going to create two more rectangles, like so. Yep. And one more rectangle like so. And make sure you lock it when you see the green words here. It's really small, but I'm not sure if you can see it. Yeah, but you'll see the green lines which show that you're at the corner of the page. So you want to drag it to the corner of the page. The top, we'll make it blue. Darker blue, and then we'll adjust it from our HSB bars. Actually, you can try and experiment yourself, because the preview colors are actually right here on the bars themselves. You can actually scroll left and drag it left and you can actually see what you'll get in the bar itself. So right now we are somewhat close, but not really. I guess this would be somewhat close. And then for the bottom will be a gray, like maybe something like this. Yeah, this looks kind of like Facebook actually. So, okay. Okay, now we have that. We're going to be just creating text like here, 1:41 p.m. Jessica, all these, before we create these speech bubbles. Okay, so for the top, we'll be creating just a name. So we'll just use a popular figure in RH, which could be Yi Hyang. Yep, and we'll change it to a white color. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't go through how you create this text right here. We'll click on this big T, which is our type tool, and then we'll just click once on where we want to type, when we want to start typing, and then we'll just click here, and from here we can type once we see this blinking bar, and we'll type Yang, and you see these 9 white squares around it. These are like the transform handles, the control handles. If you drag it out from the corner, it will actually increase in size, just like in Microsoft Word, if you have used that before. Okay, so now we'll try and put it in the center, and we will make it white in color. Right now, this text doesn't have any stroke, as you can see here. When there's a red line across it, red slash across it, that means there's no stroke. So for the fill, to change the fill, we first have to select the fill, click it once, and then we'll go back to our swatches panel and click white. So now you see Yi Hyang is at the top of the list. Right. The next element we'll be creating will be the messages and the edit. So we'll just type that. Messages, and we'll press and edit on the right side. And again, we'll just drag it out. When you hold down Shift as you drag it out, it will actually constrain the proportions to what it was at the beginning. So that's quite useful. And now we'll do the same thing. We'll select these this text and change it to white color. Make sure we have the fill selected, and then we'll change it to white color. Yep, and if this is too big relative to Yi Hyang, we will change it to a smaller size. As we can see here, messages and edits are actually in different like boxes by themselves. It's actually a rounded rectangle, and we'll try and recreate this. So if you look at where we found the rectangle tool from before, you can click down on this icon and you'll find the rounded rectangle tool, which is really handy for what we want to do now. And so if we just drag out a rectangle, it will give us a rounded rectangle first. And by pressing down or up on our keyboard, we can change the roundness of the rectangle. Like right now, you see it's very round. The corners are very round. But if I keep pressing down, it will become less and less round until it becomes nearly a rectangle. So what I want is a moderate degree of roundness, which could be like this. And we'll create one more over edit. Yep. Okay. So right now we have actually hidden our edit and messages because our rectangle is actually in front of our text. So what we need to do is to change the ordering to put it on a higher layer and make it appear in front. But first we'll just change the color of this of these boxes. Okay, so we will make it darker than the surrounding blue. So we'll just click on the boxes to select both boxes at the same time and change both boxes color at the same time. We will click one and then hold shift and click the other one, and both will be selected. And so now we will make it a darker color, but we can also adjust it using the HSB slider bars to make it more appropriate. Yes, so something like this maybe could be what we are looking for. Alright, now what an easy way to bring our text in front of these boxes is to first lock these boxes in place so that we can actually select the text. Because if we can't select the text, it's very difficult for us to bring it forward. And how we're going to lock these boxes in place, we're going to click both of them and then hold Control and press 2. Basically, we have locked them in place, so now we can't select them. You can do the same thing by going to Object and Lock Selection. So now when we click on the boxes, we actually select what is behind them, which is actually the text. And we want to bring this to the front. So we'll click on Object, Arrange, and bring to the front. Hope you can follow this. Yes. And now we'll see that Edit has come to the front. And we'll do the same thing for messages. Yep. Alright. And if you see that this is not really aligned, we'll be learning more techniques to align objects in the future. But right now, a simple method is just to click on it and use your keyboard to move it up, down, left, or right, whatever you need. So now I just need to move to the right a little bit. I'll just press right. Yeah, and that should be okay. This I'll just press down. If you need it to move a greater area, you can hold Shift and press up, down, left, or right, like so. Okay. The next thing we'll be doing is creating the speech bubbles. And now, just now we learned about locking the selection using Control plus 2. And now, because we want to work in the background, it will be helpful for us to lock the background as well. So now we're just going to select the background and Control 2 again. And that we have it. If we click here, we don't select anything. It's going to make it easier for us to work with our speech bubble later. So basically, we look at a speech bubble and we'll try and understand how it's created. It's basically a rounded rectangle. Sorry about that. A rounded rectangle with like a curly thing at the side to show who it's from. Okay, so it's actually a combination of these two shapes. So first we're going to create these two shapes one at a time. The first shape is the rounded rectangle, and we have already created that just now. So we just created once more. Well, as we plan, what we need, we remember that we have 6 different text boxes that we want to create. See, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we'll try and space out our text boxes and our speech bubbles. Yep. Okay. So we're gonna make the ones on the left side spoken by one person to be grayish, like the bottom, and the right side to be greenish. So this should be grayish. Not so gray, something like that. Yeah. And we'll make a few more copies of this. No, actually, before we make a few copies of this, we want to create that that little pointy thing at the side. One way we can do this is to first make a circle. So in the same way, we will drag out this menu, holding down and selecting the ellipse tool. And from the ellipse tool, we'll be able to easily create a circle. And what we'll do is to hold down our mouse and create, and we'll be dragging out a circle. Now we'll be dragging on ellipse, but if we hold down Shift, we will constrain it to a circle. Yes. Yes. So what we need is a circle and another circle. So once we have 2 circles and place them roughly in this this relative positions, then we will select both of them. You can select both of them by using the Shift click on one and then the other, or you can just drag a box around both of them. And then you go to this area on the right side, which says Pathfinder. If you can't find it on the right side, it's a panel. So you can go to Window at the top and down to Pathfinder, and you should see it. So under Pathfinder, we have a bunch of different options, and they all do different things to the shapes that you've selected. The one that we want here is minus back. So it's the last one on the list. So we'll just click it, and we create this, which is like a crescent type of shape. And we can actually combine this with our existing shape right here to create the exact shape that we want. So how we do this is going to be just to move this, just click and drag into our over our rounded rectangle where we want it to be. And then when we select both of them, we will click another option in the Pathfinder, which is now Unite. It's the first option on the first layer, on the first row. So we click, and now we see we have a nice little speech bubble-like thing. It's not perfect, but if you change the circles and how their relative positions are, we can change the appearance of this little tail over here. All right, so now we need to have a bunch of different speech bubbles. We need to make copies of them. One easy way to do this is to click on it, drag away, and then hold alternate before we release. Hold Alt before we release. So we let go, and we will make a copy. But we don't just want to make a copy. There's another trick we can do, which is to hold alternate and shift at the same time. This constrains the shift in the box to only a downward or rightward or 45-degree movement, this position. All right, so now we just create a copy down here and a copy down here. And of course, we want the person on the right side to be saying some things as well. So we will have to reflect it, because if we just copy to the right side, the tail is pointing the wrong way, you see. So how we reflect it is using this tool on the left side. We'll see under the rotate tool, if you can find that, you'll find the reflect tool. So from here, all you have to do is to click anywhere in the box, and then click one side of the box and drag it to the other side of the box while holding down alternate and shift. No, you don't hold down alternate. That would be a copy. You hold down shift. Yep. So now we have reflected it. And again, we'll make a few copies. To know how many copies we need, we'll go back to our text that we planned. We need 3 for person 1 and 3 for person 2. So let's make one more for person 2. Let's hold on alternate to create a copy. Yep. And for the right side, we'll make sure they're all green in color. So we shift click them and make them green. Yep. Okay, so now we're going to put some text into these speech bubbles. Alright, the first thing the person says is, I'm bored. Alright. So we say, I'm bored. And we type that, and we can make it bigger by dragging on the right side. And because this box is too big for this text, we need to make the box smaller. And we just want to make the box like shorter. Or yeah, we just need to make the box shorter. So we just need to squash it by holding the bottom transform handle and push it upwards. And we'll drag the text into this. Okay, so the next person will say whatever he wants, and then we'll continue there. We'll try and make it capitalized so that it's more professional, I guess. Okay. And we can shorten it again if it's too big, if it's to fit the size of the text. And now we'll just include all the different text boxes. All the different text into the different text boxes. And resize them appropriately. You may want to shorten the box lengthwise as well in order to create a different effect. And we just continue like so. We actually copy and paste in the text like so, and just paste it inside after we go into the type tool. And the type tool, the shortcut is just T, so you just press T and click and you'll be able to type wherever you want. Yep. So we go to stupid autocorrect. And what else? I meant IHG handball finals tonight. You meant IHG handball finals tonight. Handball finals tonight. Alright. So this is pretty much some of the text we have. I'll just complete this as quickly as I can, so that we can continue with our tutorial. And this person says long. Feel free to skip ahead if this part is not interesting or not useful to you. Alright, so we'll just order this. Okay, because we need to make sure this is in front of what this person says. And so one way we can do this is to select this text first, I'm bored, together with the shape behind it that we created just now. Shift click both of them, and then we will group them together. Press Ctrl G, or we can go to Object and Group. Now we can just move them upwards, and then they'll both move together upwards. And we'll just group all the different text to their boxes, like so. Ctrl G, Ctrl G, Ctrl G, Ctrl G. Okay, so now it's really easy for me to just order them very easily. Yeah. Okay, so now we have our text here already, and we'll just complete the bottom part of our replica. We'll just create this send button, okay, and we're gonna try to use the coloring try and mimic more accurately the coloring that they've been using, because as you see here, our colors look very different from theirs, and that's because they're using gradients and highlights, and that's not going to be covered. I mean, we're gonna try and do that right now for the send button. So as you can see, it's another rounded rectangle, just that it's very round at the sides this time. So we will create our rounded rectangle like so. Keep pressing up to create more roundness in the sides, and we'll release. And now we'll try and make it a bit bigger, and I'll make it the correct color, which is about a dark blue. Make sure you select it before you change the fill. And okay, so now we have our blue. Should be a bit deeper, like so. And then we will add in the send text. We'll just type send with our type tool, make it bigger, and put it in the center, and make it white in color. But we won't make it completely white. We're gonna make it gray, pretty much gray, because that's what we see in the website. And we also see that there's like a kind of gradient. At the top it's lighter, at the bottom it's darker color, and so we'll try and make the same effect. And we can do this by selecting gradient, by turning the fill into a gradient fill. So how we do this is we go to the gradient panel on the right side. If you don't find the gradient panel, you can again open it using the window tool, find gradient, and open it up. So we will make it into a linear gradient. This immediately gives us a black to white gradient, which is not really what we want, but it does give us a linear gradient, which is a gradient along a line. Now this gradient flows from left to right, white to black. We want ours to be from top to bottom, a lighter blue to a darker blue. So we will change the direction of the gradient. To do this, we will press G, or you can go to the left side and click on the gradient tool before we drag from the top to the bottom. By doing this, we have changed the direction of the gradient, and now we can change the colors in the gradient. To do this, we will again start with the colors that we wanted. Let's say this is one of the colors that we want for the dark blue. Then we just drag it into this little thing over here, this little gradient mark over here, and then we'll have a lighter color for the left side, which is going to be the top. Now right now both of them are the exact same color, so you don't see any gradient at all. It's just a same color gradient to the same color, so you get nothing. But we're going to make this lighter right now by shifting it in the top bar here, the saturation, decrease it and increase the brightness, so we can see kind of a kind of lightening at the top. And now we want to make it more realistic. The colors are a bit off. It should be a more... I'm not very good at colors, but it should be a bit more like this, I guess. A bit more cyan. No, that's too much cyan. Okay, I'm not very sure, but it's just a matter of color. If you twitch it right, it should get something like that. And you see, we can create a more of a 3D effect at the sides by creating an inner glow. So we click on the shape, the rounded rectangle that we have over here, and select Effect from the top, Stylize, and Inner Glow. This will create a glow from the edges of our rounded rectangle inwards. So we click Preview so that we can see what we are creating, and we'll turn this color, this glow, to a black color. So now we have a color picker. Just click wherever you want in the color picker to select what color you want. So to select black, we select anything at the bottom layer. It'll be black. It'll be darker as we go down. And so click OK. And we'll change the mode right now to normal. And as you can see, we can see a darker kind of glow coming in. And we'll just click OK for now. Now we have some of the effect that we want, and this is going to be just the start of our simple design tutorial for of your design journey with Illustrator from Adobe. That's going to be it. I will be posting more video tutorials if they are in demand. And thanks for watching.